The recent outbreak of MERS in South Korea is having a negative knock-on effects to the country's economy. Looking at this further, I'm joined by Knox, Corporate Account Manager with Caxton FX. Edward, the South Korean Central Bank earlier cut its benchmark interest rate to combat negative impact on the economy. Could we expect further cuts or easing further down the road?
Well, at the moment, South Korea is suffering from the largest outbreak of Middle East respiratory syndrome outside of Saudi Arabia. And this is now starting to have a direct impact on the South Korean economy. A climate of fear could see falls in retail sales and tourism to the area, which could impact their recovery cycle further down the line. The South Korean Finance Ministry said on Monday that its government would maintain expansionary fiscal policy with the aim to help minimize the adverse economic impact from the outbreak, meaning further cuts or easing down the line can't be ruled out. As it stands, the Bank of Korea made its fourth rate cut since last August, with its key policy rate now standing at a record low of 1.5%. South Korean law stipulates that the supplementary budget can be drawn up under exceptional circumstances, and this could be used to help prop up growth. A decision on this is likely to happen by the end of this month. The handling of the crisis at this point will be key, and containing the spread of the disease is paramount to avoid having to introduce this supplementary budget.
Already under pressure from stuttering exports and of course the MERS situation, which areas in South Korea's economy are most at risk at this point?
Well, before the MERS outbreak, South Korea was indeed suffering from poor export figures, but this threat of MERS is now increases the risk to other areas of the economy, such as consumer spending. South Korea's, Koreans are avoiding public spaces because of the outbreak, and this will have an adverse effect on things like retail sales. This retail sector is worth about $322 billion annually to South Korea, and avoiding a steep fall in sales here will be key. Other areas at risk if the MERS crisis deepens will be on tourism. Potential visitors look to avoid the outbreak. As it stands, over I think 100,000 people have put off visits to South Korea due to the outbreak, and this will have an direct effect right through the economy. Consumer-related industries, including airlines, hotels, and restaurants, are likely to be most at risk initially.
What kind of impact is all this having on the Korean won?
Well, the concern about MERS and the wider economy, so the poor export figures, etc., is having a weakening impact on the won. The won is approaching a 3-month low versus the US dollar, and this is likely to continue with other effects, such as the triple whammy of a slowing Chinese economy, which is responsible for about 25% of South Korea's exports. A weakening yen, Japanese yen, is also a contributing factor. It makes Japanese or similar Japanese goods comparatively cheaper. And now we've got MERS, or the Middle East respiratory syndrome outbreak, which could affect underlying GDP down the line. So, the Korean policymakers at the moment won't be too worried about the weakening won, as a cheaper currency should help boost exports, of which have fallen to an almost 6-year low.
That's all from Edward and myself for now. For more exclusive interviews just like this, be sure to click back to Dukescopy TV.